It's been such a long time since I was last in my teapot to start recording one of these. Ifa has been standing here for months, waiting for his time to shine. But I guess that time is today. This time around, we have a bit of a special co-op episode, because we're building a team this time. Yeah, there was a lot of sort of characters that just are meant to go together, like Raiden Shogun and Kujusara. We have, of course, Ifa and Ororon, which is today's episode. And there's just a lot of pairings like that that kind of work by themselves. So today we're going to build one of those. We're going to be doing Ifa and Ororon together in a team because I feel like these two 4-stars from that line kind of got ignored a little bit. Not gonna lie, Ororon did see his kind of, I don't know, space in the spotlight, I guess, with the fact that he buffs Electrocharge, which was relevant for a little while. But Ifa just kind of fell to the wayside because he is just a strictly worse Chaska. That's all it is. I'm sorry. Chaska just does his on-field job way better in every way, shape, and form. And I don't know. Look, I had so many other characters to build from Natlan at the time. He kind of fell for the wayside for me too. But today, I'm going to do my best to at least get him somewhere usable. The notes that we need to take today. Right, so when it comes to Ifa himself, he is currently level 40, which obviously is god-awful. He will be using the Wandering Even Star, most likely, as I will be using him as an on-fielder with a bit of a weird build. The thing with Ifa is that you have two separate builds you can do. You can either rock the Wandering Evening Star to make him a swirl DPS that kind of just buffs everyone else on your team. Alternatively, you can run him on something like the Widsith to make him an on-field DPS. I haven't really decided what I wanted to do here, because there are a couple of good things about running him as an on-field DPS, because we have his C6. C6, when he holds Supporting Fire, which is his skill, there is a 50% chance he'll find an additional tonic shot that deals his 120% of his attack. I kind of want to build him as that, to be honest. It would be funny to have him as an just a strictly worse Chaska that just brings a gun. I don't know, I think that'd be kind of funny. And then the Widsith is one of his better weapons for that, because not only does he give crit damage, but also it gets him an attack buff, an elemental buff, or an elemental mastery buff. You know what? I'll take back the Wandering Evening Star. I kind of want him to play on the Widsith. I want to make him an on-field DPS. I think it'd be funny, so we're going to do that. Luckily for me, I do have this Widsith that we can level up to 90 because I have a couple of characters that already use it, so why not? Other than that, we have no artifacts on our boy. We're most likely going to be playing him on Obsidian Codex since we're building him as an on-field now, so that should be easy enough. For Ororon then, Ororon is 50 to 60. I did do something with him at some point and then forgot he existed. Whoops. For his weapon, we're going to be using his event weapon that we got a little while ago, which was the Rainbow Serpent's Rain Bow. This thing looks awesome on Ororon, and that's mostly the vibe check that we're doing here. It gives energy recharge, which is important for him, and it gives him attack after he hits someone while he's off field, which is also great, because he's going to be doing that a lot. So it is simply just a 56% attack weapon alongside the energy recharge and base attack. It's pretty freaking good. No artifacts on our boy Ororon either, so he is going to be running the Scrolls of Cinder City, most likely. And that's in the same domain as Ifa's Obsidian Codex, so that's kind of the combination we're going for here. Constellation 6 as well, so we have Ode to Deep Springs, which is really, really good. He buffs the attack of the current active character, which is actually relevant. His talents are also unleveled, as you can see. We haven't done anything on either. To supplement him, then, we are going to be playing Beidou! Oh, Beidou, you don't have your weapon. There we go, Beidou! I haven't had the chance to use Beidou in any team ever for any reason, and I absolutely adore Beidou, so I am happy that I finally have somewhere to place her. Beidou will be using the Katsuguri Nagamasa, because it's just an energy recharge weapon that gives elemental skill. This part is irrelevant, really, because she will be on Emblem once I shift her artifacts around, because apparently she was holding something else for a while. Who cares? She's also C6. And that means that during her burst, the electro resistance of surrounding opponents is decreased by 15%, which is actually really good. For the last slot, it's Farina. It's Farina. We could put anyone in the slot, but we needed someone to bait the thumbnail, so Farina gets to be here, I guess. Realistically speaking, that's it. We have so much freaking work to do. I don't want to do any of it. Let's start with us trying to ascend to Ifa, because we do have a fair bit of materials that I just happen to have. I haven't done any pre-farming for this. Again, I never do for these episodes. If I happen to have something, it's mostly accidental. But we'll bring FIFA. We'll bring FIFA! Let's not become a FIFA YouTuber today. Let's bring him up to 60. Can we get him to 70? We cannot, but we probably can if we go kill the Spark statue a little bit. Yeah, so the enemy we have to kill for this is the Lava Dragon statue, which, as everyone knows, sucks. This thing's just annoying. Ifa's team is not going to be able to do this because it does require pyro. How unfortunate. Oh no, the lava statue fell over. Anyway, let's use some of our daily dose of whatever you want to call it at this point. Cocaine, I guess. Sparkless stone statues. Ooh. Oh no, Ifa doesn't have any wings. We must remedy this immediately. Oh yeah, I forgot. We also have the event weapon thing. So we can now change the book to the Phantasmal Gift Star Omen if we want to. I forgot this thing was a reward. That's great. Let's give him some fitting wings. Does he have any fitting wings? Not particularly. I mean, we'll give him the animo ones, whatever. They don't look great, but at least they color match a little bit. So yeah, Ifa just kind of wants to do this. This is Ifa gameplay right here. It's kind of the Choska thing, but not really. And you also have a big gun. That's it. The big gun does actually have some use, though. You know, for as much crap as I give Natlan, this place is beautiful. I gotta give, again, environmental artists of this game, they need a raise. They do such a good job. Like, look at that. That looks so cool. I don't know. I trash talk Natlan a lot, but God. Just exploring environments is sometimes more fun than playing the game itself. Alright, a bunch of collections later. Honestly, these things, they're really easy to collect. I kind of like them. It's been a while since we had a super easy one. Sorry, Clawcyclids are superbly easy. We still need to apparently craft a bunch of animo things, though. Which is unfortunate because I don't think I got a lot of those. And unfortunately, Ifa's boss doesn't drop that. It drops pyro ones for whatever reason. But that is nice at least, so we can bring him up to 70, just like that. Bada bing, bada boom. You now get mutual aid agreement. I'm not entirely sure what that is or what that do, but we're about to find out, aren't we? We're also out of money, so that's fun. What does mutual aid agreement do? My nearby party members took a Night Soul Burst. His elemental mastery is increased. So basically, it's going to be Ororon doing it. That's kind of nice, actually. But yeah, I think that's everything we're going to be able to do today. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to spend the rest on getting Amora, because let's be honest here, we are running out. And after that, we'll be back tomorrow to see if we can't do some more. Okay, it's been roughly a week since I recorded last. I know I said day, but work kind of got in the way. At the very least, though, I've been spending the last week or so actually getting the materials required to ascend most of the characters. We have everything ready for Ifa to be ascended to 80, and we've got quite a bit of things for Ororon as well. I still need to go around and collect the flowers for Ororon, but I felt like we can do that at some other time. What we need to do, though, is we desperately need to convert some of our things into animos, because we don't really have that many. I do have infinite amounts of this, though, so hey, it's something, I guess. We're gonna craft all of those. Thank you kindly. Math is hard, and therefore we don't do it on this channel, because who needs to do that? Let's bring Ifa up to the final level of level 80, as I am not planning on bringing these up to the maximum. We still need to farm a bit more XP materials. I have not spent time doing that yet. But at the very least, we are now level 80. Ifa is basically ready on that front. And hey, he gives us a free wish. Good for us. We are going to take a look at the talents, though, because as you can imagine, we need to level up his skill basic. Wait, what? Okay, you guys, I recorded that, right? What the hell happened there? But yeah, it doesn't matter. He uses the teachings of conflict, which I actually have plenty of. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna drop in a couple of these. And as you can see, it does scale with attack as well as the healing, scaling with elemental mastery for some reason. But we're gonna bring this up as far as we can. We do have quite a bit of materials, as I said. I do have quite a few chess pieces as well left over. So we're just gonna dump some things into here and max it out to 8, I think. I do need to craft some Tyrant's Fangs, but I've got plenty of those, so I'm not worried in the slightest. So our bird is basically maxed out, and that's, realistically speaking, that is the thing we are going to use here. We will max out Kukuku as far as we can. We can technically put some levels into the burst, because we are going to use it, so I guess we may as well. I'll craft some more fangs, and we'll see how far we can push Ifa, really. Oh wow, we can just bring it straight up to 8 if we want to, okay. I don't necessarily want to bring it all the way up to 8, just to save on some material, but we'll bring it up to, bring up to 6 at least. So now it's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 should be just fine. We'll keep the rest of the materials for other characters. We aren't going to be using the normal attack basically ever, because Ifa obviously just wants to fly around in the air, so we don't particularly care. For weapons, we are using the Widsith, of course. We could bring this up a little bit higher if we wanted to, but for the time being, I don't think I particularly care. Now we need to take a look at Ororon. Ororon's weapon is currently level 1, so this thing actually does need to be leveled significantly. Talents need to be checked out as well, but first of all, we do need to bring this man up completely. We're going to have to craft some more Season Fangs, and we're going to have to go collect some glowing horn shrooms, but I'll do that off screen for, I don't know, for a million years. We will look at his weapon, though, because this thing is awesome. It's a shame I have not leveled this before, but for this, we're going to need the Night Wind's Mystic, whatever mirror. But that's level 40. Bring that up, bada bing. I have some blue ones, apparently. That's great. Let's add some more of those in here. Give him some more energy recharge. He does like that. I don't have a lot of these. I don't know what they come from. Oh, we can actually level this up once before we do anything else. How nice. So, to level 60. We're going to aim for level 80, most likely, as with most characters that I have that I don't particularly need for any niche. They tend to end up at level 80. And honestly, I think that's where most characters should end up. You might ascend them to 81 or something to say, oh, I maxed them out. But for a lot of the characters, I don't feel like you need to. Anyways, this is the first time we're really going to be actively using this team as well, even though our damage is not going to be all that great, all things considered. We can still actually use it now. I mean, look, we've got a gun. The gun is certainly trying to gun. We're swirling stuff. We also have no artifact on any of our characters other than Beidou and Farina, so our damage is not meant to do a lot. But thankfully, Farina can definitely carry. Well, that's nice. I mean, the team feels like it works for what it's worth. I don't know, it's kind of nice. Anyway, we're going to throw some of our resin onto this. That is, 4 of them, I think. That's honestly really good. I think we only need 1 more after that. Yeah, we only need 1 more purple. Okay. Very nice. Not Mr. Ororon, sorry. We're doing the weapon. Send once, now up to 70. And last ascension, up to level 80. We're running out of more at a rapid rate as always. But that is Ororon's weapon completed. We don't need to worry about that anymore. It's actually really fitting for him. I know it's based on his appearance and everything, but that thing's awesome. Anyway, bubble. We still need to level up both of his talents here. I do like having both on Ororon if I can help it. So we'll bring these up as much as we can. He uses the Guide to Kindling, which I have 110 of, by the way. I got a ton of these. I think I got most of them from just exploring Natlan at some point. Because there's just I don't know, he gets so many of them. We're not going to level his normal attack for resistance, but we are going to craft an absolute ton of these, because we're going to need them. Why not? We'll just make, we'll make this many. Go Layla! Oh, that's a decent Layla hit. We'll craft an absolute ton of these as well, because I don't really see a reason why not. I have so many fangs for slaughtering. God knows how many cute animals in this region. I feel so bad about it. Anyways, let's level up his burst first. Burst being the most important one, obviously. We'll see how far we can take it. We have that maxed for now. We'll do the skill as well, because I do feel like we're going to need the skill eventually. We are down to absolutely no money whatsoever. Let's go collect some stuff for Ororon's Ascension. I've really noticed that for both of these characters, the actual Ascension materials for them are so plentiful, you could probably collect everything you needed in, like, 1 pass. It's actually really, like, I don't know. It feels invigorating to know that it's not one of the ones from Nodcry where you had to wait a million years to finish a character. I think the only one you didn't have to do that was Lalma and who was it? It was Lalma and Columbina, I think, because there were a lot of the silvery whatever things around. I don't know. I feel like it's been a while where it's just a plant that's really plentiful. Then again, I guess the whatever they're called, the pearls were fairly easy. You just went around the places where pearls would exist. Alright, around 20 minutes and an obscene amount of crafting later, we are ready to ascend Ororon. Ororon now has Aspect Catalyst. Whoop-de-doo will bring him up to 70, and I'm not entirely sure whether or not we have enough to actually bring him up to 80. We do not. We have enough stuff, but we don't have enough Mora. Shocking surprise, everybody. I'm poor. Don't worry, though. We'll get that throughout the coming days, and I don't think that's going to be a problem to bring him up where he needs to be. What we are going to do with the last bit of today, though, is that we need to start getting these guys a little bit of artifacting, because I'm going to be honest, they ain't earning that much right now. We kind of need to fix that. If I remember correctly, the artifact domain is over here, which has both the scroll of the Hero of Cinder City, which is what we want to give to Ororon, and the Obsidian Codex, which we want to give to Ifa. So this is straight up just the best domain we're going to get. It is not even close. We are basically going to be building both characters at the same time with a little bit of luck. I think Ifa's is probably the most important to start, because he is going to be on fielding for the most part, so, you know. We're also not bringing Kachina. That would be silly. Anyway, let's start off our artifact journey, I suppose. Ooh, that's not terrible. It's an attack sans that's on set for Ororon with 2 good substats on it. This feather's not great. This feather is double crit, though. That could be something. We'll keep it. That's a really good start for one of these. I'm gonna be real, that usually never happens. Alright, for the hell of it, we have a little bit of more at the very least, so we can roll this and see. Crit rate unlocks. If this rolls crit damage, crit rate. Yikes, I don't think we're gonna do anything else with that one, I'm gonna be real. It's got crit damage, it's got some EM. EM isn't the worst stat, but there's only 2 good ones on this as well. Crit damage is very good as the first roll. Okay, that's pretty dope. 2 rolls kind of makes this usable regardless, honestly. 1 into defense is bad. We are running out of Mora. We have no more consumables, but I'm gonna be real, that's not terrible. 20% crit rate is definitely welcome. I will say the rotation is very smooth on this. It's actually real smooth. My Beidou isn't necessarily well built either, but it works out. I'm not complaining about this at all. Let's do another one, see what we get. That feather is not really that good. Geo damage bonus doesn't help us, and an attack head does not really help us either. And last one for today will be this extra bit of resin. HP doesn't really help us. Dendro damage is funny, and this is not really that good. But we can't all be winners. Can't all be winners. It's fine. I am going for the hell of it to do some strong boxing as well, because I have a lot of leftovers. We're going to be doing the Obsidian Codex first, because I feel like it is the most important one. Pyro damage is funny, but I don't necessarily need that. Pyro, again. Dendro, Jesus. None of those are correct, but I guess I'll keep one of them, because that one could be useful, I guess. That feather isn't bad at all. I might look at that one. That's not great. Crit damage, on the other hand, just to have one is very nice. That's an excellent flower, though. Don't really care about this one. That's an arguably even better one. No, I don't think we'll use that. No, I don't think we'll use that. HP with whatever is not what I want. But that flower? Ooh. Ooh. That is a well statted flower, I'm gonna be honest here. That is really good still, don't get me wrong, but if this... Where did it go? Oh, it's this one. Crit rate, energy charge, elemental mastery, crit damage is like one of the best things I've ever seen. This is insane. I don't know what to tell you about this one. This one's crazy. We want... most likely crit damage as our main stat. Energy recharge isn't terrible, but it's not the one that we really want. Oh, we're rolling the 2 of the ones that we don't want. I'll still roll on this and see. I mean, HP is going to be the first. Oh, I'm going to keep both of them. I don't care. They're both really good. This one's also really good, shockingly. There's 3 really good ones here. That's all we need to worry about. He's got stuff. He's got plenty of goodies. Shut up, Ifa. Let's re-roll the rest of them and see if we get anything. And no, and no. And then let's re-roll it again. No. I don't particularly care about that. But yeah, no, we're getting places. We're getting places. I'll see you all in a couple of days when I got more Mora, I guess, and we'll see how the builds go. It's Sunday, and I've had a bit of an oopsie because I had a recording malfunction, and, whoops. Look, I'll catch you up to speed on what's happened the last week or so. Ifa has gotten an artifact set now that is actually fairly good. Unfortunately, the rolls we did for these artifacts are now gone to the wind, but I'll go through them at the very least. We got ourselves an on-set Animo damage goblet bonus with crit damage and crit rate, which made me flip my shit, and unfortunately that's now lost. But at the very least, this thing rolled once into crit damage, twice into crit rate, and once into HP. So we decided to use this as it is not terrible. That opened up our slot to borrow another one from a different character. So we're borrowing a Sans here. We want an attack Sans. And I happen to have this supremely good one from Arlecchino. So we're stealing that for the time being. We also have a Feather now with crit rate, energy recharge, attack percent, and crit damage that we rolled, which honestly, despite having 2 rolls into attack percent, is actually fairly good. I really like this one, so we're keeping it. We have this flower here, which we have rolled a little bit, which has crit damage and attack percent, which we are going to continue rolling now that I noticed, and crit rate isn't necessarily needed for this, but we'll take it. Let's get... Oh, I don't have any more consumables. We've been running out of consumables for the last day and a half, probably, because I still need to farm a ton of them, unfortunately. We're just gonna slurp a couple of these that we don't need. Yeah. There we go. I don't mind. Don't watch. Oh, okay! That's really, really good! Holy crap! Okay, so he has a great feather, or flower, as well. The last thing we need to do is this crit damage headpiece that needs to be leveled. It has attack percent, it's got energy recharge on it, so both of those are pretty good. But currently our Ifa looks at 27 to 189, which obviously the crit rate is adjusted by Obsidian Codex, so it's actually 67%, which is completely fine and dandy. Ororon, on the other hand, hasn't really had a lot of work done to him, as we haven't really gotten great pieces yet. We have this flower here, which we actually found, I believe, a replacement for. Let me really quickly put on the set filter. This one right here, in fact, we're going to give him this flower. Crit rate and attack percent is very, very good for him. We found this crit damage headpiece with crit rate and attack percent, which is great, so we just need to level it up. We got this attack Sans that's rolled twice into crit damage and once into flat defense, unfortunately, but it is the best one we've gotten so far, so we're just going to roll on that. And we got this feather, which we got today, which is when I noticed that the recording was broken. It is double crit attack percent. It is very, very nice. We just need the materials to level all of these up. It is really a shame because most of what we've done is just kind of wait for artifact XP, and that takes a while. What we are going to do, though, is we are going to roll all of the ones we have here for Ororon, because we are still looking for a couple Ororon pieces, namely an attack Sans, if we can find it. That's one of the most important ones. Geo damage, unfortunately, doesn't help me. That's not... Nope. Nah. No. Crit rate, crit damage might actually be a better headpiece for him, with energy recharge is stellar. Nope. Don't really want that one. Don't really want that one. That one is superb, actually. We'll keep that. That's not great. That's not great. Oh, if that would have been attack right there, that would have been amazing. We'll chuck the rest of them back in, see what we can get. Hydro. Attack percent. Nope. 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 It's attack percent with crit rate. But I kind of want a double one. I'll keep this one just in case, though. Who knows? The other one might roll terribly. Nah. That's not that great. Oh, that's so unfortunate, though. But yeah, no, I think that artifact is actually better, because this one is double crit with attack lockout. They're honestly about... Oh, that's not the right one. Yeah, they're literally the same, but this one's got defense to start. We'll keep both, but we'll roll on this one first, because that has a chance of getting better, I suppose. Yeah, it's just a matter of... getting artifact XP, honestly. That's the last thing we need for this to be done. Because this is a double character one, we actually have one more week to go. So most likely, I'm just going to be spending that week farming artifacts. And we're going to level the rest of it up, and then we're going to do a damage test. But yeah, that's basically it. Like, these two builds have gone really, really well. I just need to actually get out there and get artifacts, because that takes forever. How kind of you to join me at my tea table on this Sunday morning where a storm has blown in over Sweden and you can hear the shards of, I don't know, half-frozen ice chunk against the windowsill. But on the positive side, we have officially finished Ifa and Ororon's builds. I've been playing a lot of off-screen due to work and Easter and everything else that's been going on this weekend, simply because I kind of wanted to have it finished. We now have on Ifa 36.1 to 242.5 on his Obsidian Codex set. I have leveled up every piece we've gotten so far, so I'll walk through them really quickly. We got this crit damage circlet that unfortunately rolled a lot into defense, which kind of sucks, but still 2 crit rate is not bad for the purposes of this. We did get an Animo Onset Goblet that rolled decently. It rolled 1 into crit damage, 2 into crit rate, and a 1 into HP, which I feel is fine. It's definitely usable considering it's on set. We stole one of my attack sands as the free piece that we get every episode, because this one is just really, really good, and I didn't really get an equally good attack piece for this. So I figured, hey, I didn't want to steal the one from Mawika either, even though it's got a lot of Elemental Mastery, because I felt like the crit damage would help more, considering how we want to play the boy. We could be stealing this too, but... for our feather, we got, well, a feather. Unfortunately, it's not super great. 1 roll into crit damage, 2 into attack percent, and 1 into energy recharge isn't necessarily terrible, but it could have been better. I was tempted to swap it over from Mawika's for a little bit more damage, but eh... And then lastly, we got the flower, which actually turned out really, really well. We got 1 roll into attack percent, then 2 into crit damage, 1 into crit rate. This build's actually really good. I'm very, very happy about this one. We also got a couple of extra flowers here in case I ever want to do anything with those. But I'm kind of satisfied with Ifa. Obviously still on the Widsith and his talents looking like that. For Ororon, however, our build was slightly worse here at the long run. We've got the Rainbow Serpent's Bow, as you saw, at level 80. It is a pretty good weapon, honestly. I'm kind of shocked at how well that's been doing. Artifact-wise, though, we stole an Electro Damage Goblet, because most of my damage goblets are garbage for Electro for some reason, so I stole the best one I could find. Then we got this Attack Sands, which unfortunately did not really roll the way that I wanted to, but at least it did something. We then got an actually really good headpiece, crit rate main stat, 2 into crit damage, 2 into energy recharge. This thing's amazing. I was losing my shit when I made it. Then we have this flower, which isn't terrible either. 2 into attack percent, 1 into flat attack, 1 into crit damage. Would have preferred a bit more crit on that, and we could re-roll it into this flower, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really mind all that much. His feather, on the other hand, isn't that great. It's... yeah, double defense. But unfortunately, I didn't get that many feathers that were even remotely usable, so we just have to stick with what we've got. But honestly, I kind of like it. It's not terrible. For a month's worth of time building 2 separate characters, it definitely could have gone worse. We only have one thing left to do for this video, obviously, and that is to give these guys a proper damage test. So, welcome back to the DPS tester. There are actually 2 separate teams I would like to try for Ifa and Ororon. One of them being the one that we see here with Beidou, Farina, Ororon, and Ifa. And the other one is actually going to be a lunar-charged team with Columbina and Inefa, because I'm just kind of curious to see which one would perform better. I'm going to 100% guess that it is the Inefa and Columbina team, but I'd still like to see what both teams are capable of, because why the hell not? Also, this team is much cheaper to build because it's literally 3 4-stars. But yeah, we'll be doing 2 separate tests, one on a single target dummy and one on a group of 3, just to test AoE damage and all that shenanigans. Anyways, let's begin. Okay. An honest-to-God 34,000 damage is not as terrible as I'd think. Farina is still carrying most of that damage, as you could have guessed, but Ifa's still doing around 30% and Ororon around 20%. That's not terrible. Obviously, Beidou doesn't get to do a lot in this particular setup, because Beidou kind of just deals AoE damage and does some shredding. It's not horrific. Honestly, it's not that bad. I kind of get that. Alright. Let's do 3 meta Shurls next, because that is what we need to do. So the reaction tracker and live target attributes does not work in AoE situations, but we don't really care. Let's give it a go. Okie dokie then. Around 88,000 AoE DPS is not necessarily great. The main problem is when you're handling multiple enemies with this team is that Ororon's burst actually causes them to back up a little bit from each other, and they do this because they're attempting to quote-unquote attack the little spirit that you summon, which is a little bit unfortunate. But honestly, not terrible performance. These guys are 4 stars. I don't hate it. Beidou could probably be changed for something else, though, that shreds a little bit more for the team, as she isn't necessarily super useful even in AoE when it comes down to enemies like this. I might have swapped that for something like Sucrose or Kazuha, or any, like, Shalonen could probably be a good fit for this. Actually, no, Shalonen wouldn't do anything for Animo, would she? But I still think that there's possibility here, and that's all I'm going to say with that. Let's try the Lunar Charge team really quickly. Alright, Lunar Charged. Now, a fair bit of warning here. My Columbina actually doesn't have any artifacts at all. She's got nothing. I haven't built her yet. She does have her weapon leveled up, but nothing more than that. Inefa is also kind of in the same boat. I have an okay build on Inefa, and that's generally it. But we're still going to see if we manage to do some extra dingus damage with this. Okay, 43,000 damage, about a 10k increase from what it was without Columbina and Inefa. I don't hate that. If I actually had proper builds on Inefa and Columbina, I think this could be genuinely a really, really strong team. You would probably have to run Ifa on Elemental Mastery for this team to work really well. But I'm kind of liking it anyway, honestly. Let's do the AoE test as well, just for the hell of it, so that we have proper testing. And then we will simply move on to the finale. Okay, 131k. That is a significant improvement at the very least. Not the greatest still for a team like this, but I can't really be mad about it. It's okay. Well, congratulations to Ifa and Ororon. You have successfully completed the Ascension Arc. Honestly, I went into this episode thinking that both of these characters were basically just low-down versions of other Natlan and Fontaine characters. Because generally speaking, that's kind of what they felt like. Ifa especially got overshadowed by Chaska almost immediately in terms of both personal performance and just general usability around the world, considering Chaska's flight gun is just way better than Ifa's, almost by default. Ororon, however, falls into a very particular niche that is still kind of usable to this day. The fact that he has an essential AoE taunt and fairly good off-field damage with incredibly good uptime, as well as his little bonus electrical attack whenever you deal damage, is actually really handy sometimes. For a lot of teams, I could see Ororon being more useful than Ifa, but we're kind of... I don't know, we're not necessarily rating them together, but we kind of have to rate them as a pair, because that was the joke of the whole episode being started the recording of Valentine's Day, yada 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 yada. I like these two guys. It's a surprisingly good team when you put them both together, because they both sort of fulfill their own requirements by themselves. Ororon and Ifa's Night Soul points manages to just max out Ifa's bonus, as well as, I believe, Ororon's bonus too. It's like it's made. The problem with running both of them, of course, is that they are overshadowed by a lot of other units, especially from non-Cry. But that's kind of the case for all characters. Do also keep in mind that this entire episode was recorded with both of these guys at C6, which Beidou also was in her team, even though she didn't really do much more than shred, to be fair. This clearly means that if you were running C0 on any of these characters, they would be performing significantly worse, and their numbers aren't exactly that great to begin with. I will say, though, I had a lot of fun playing these two, and I could see myself using them in the open world afterwards. We do have a rating system on this channel, which ranges from will play actively, will play regularly, might play sometimes, most likely won't play, benched, and the special role of Kaveh, reserved for one man only. These two characters, however, are getting to get split decisions, because, I'm gonna be real here, there is a difference between these two. For Ororon, he is going into the might play sometimes, because honestly, there are niche teams where Ororon is actually really, really useful to have. So, he might be slotted into a couple of those, similar to how Emily and Kale are. They have their moments and should be respected as such. Unfortunately for Ifa, though, Ifa is unfortunately going into the benched tier. There isn't any reason I, on my account, ever need to pick up Ifa to do anything. If I need to swirl and do that whole shenanigans, I have Sucrose, Venti, and Kazuha as options, and they just perform significantly better than Ifa would ever do. If I need to play an Anemo DPS that kinda goes in and swirls alongside dealing his own damage, I have Varka. And I have Chaska, which just kinda do that thing, but way better. And if I really wanted to be crazy, I also have Venti, because now he can just deal damage for whatever reason. But you know, I actually had a ton of fun with these two characters, and if you own them and haven't built them, I still highly suggest you build both. They are really good, but just not good in my account, where I have other options. Ororon, of course, has his niche. Ifa, not so much. Now, I hope you enjoyed this episode, because if you did, you might be looking forward to the next one, because Albedo has won the current vote, and I finally get to build my golden boy. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and remember to leave a comment down below, do the whole shenanigans so YouTube likes me again, because YouTube doesn't like me anymore. Thanks for watching!